Prime Minister Justin Trudeau offers a formal apology to acknowledge the harm caused by the internment of Italian Canadians during the Second World War, and to honor those families of those who were affected. Here's Eagle News correspondent Astley Sacmar with more.
On Thursday, May 27th, in the House of Commons, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau issued an apology to the families, descendants, and community of Italian Canadians who were placed in internment camps during the Second World War, when Canada went to war against Benito Mussolini's fascist regime in Italy on June 10th, 1940. Here is the Prime Minister with the announcement.
I rise in this House today to issue an official apology on behalf of Italian Canadians, on behalf of the Government of Canada, for the internment of Italian Canadians during the Second World War. To the men and women who were taken to prisoner of war camps or jail without charge, people who are no longer with us to hear this apology. To the tens of thousands of innocent Italian Canadians who were labeled enemy aliens. To the children and grandchildren who have carried a past generation's shame and hurt. And to their community, a community that has given so much to our country, we are sorry.
During World War II, Canada entered the war on the side of the Allies against Nazi Germany and the Axis powers of Empire of Japan and Fascist Italy. To prepare for this declaration of war, the establishment of internment camps were already underway for several weeks. In addition, the War Measures Act was passed, allowing authorities to govern by decree. One of these orders in council banned communist, Nazi, and fascist organizations.
Canada did not also have to declare war on Italian Canadians. To stand up to the Italian regime that had sided with Nazi Germany, that was right. But to scapegoat law-abiding Italian citizens, that was wrong.
During the Second World War, Canada alienated and interned many innocent German Canadians, Japanese Canadians, as well as Italian Canadians, residents of Italian descent who were deemed suspicious and were subject to internment. Italian citizens living in Canada and Canadians of Italian origin were suspected of being sympathetic to the fascist cause and were arrested and interned in camps.
During the Second World War, 31,000 Italian Canadians were labeled enemy aliens and then fingerprinted, scrutinized, and forced to report to local registrars once a month. Just over 600 men were arrested and sent to internment camps, and 4 women were detained and sent to jail. They were business owners, workers, and doctors. They were fathers, daughters, and friends. When the authorities came to their door, when they were detained, there were no formal charges, no ability to defend themselves in an open and fair trial, no chance to present or rebut evidence. Yet still, they were taken away to Petawawa or to Fredericton, to Kananaskis or to Kingston. Once they arrived at the camp, there was no length of sentence. Sometimes the internment lasted a few months, sometimes it lasted years. But the impacts, those lasted a lifetime.
Jagmeet Singh, leader of the New Democratic Party of Canada, urges Canada to acknowledge these mistakes, call out the prejudiced and unjust systems ingrained within the country, and work towards making amends.
It was a system that was purposely designed to keep people out of the rightful place in society. There was no reason outside of prejudice to suspect that those in turn posed any threat whatsoever to Canada or Canadians. Canada must act to right these wrongs of the past so we build a fairer and more just future for all. Let's make sure that all our work in this House of Commons is always invested in building that fairer, and more just society for all.
In Toronto, Astley Sacmar, Eagle News, we live in interesting times.